to really highlight some issues that are even more at the fore with all of this election madness. And it's just a lot of things are happening at the same time right now. Certainly, the issue of political prisoners is one that we hoping to really keep at the fore. I hope able to bring cards today, but in the next events to make sure that we have a time to be able to learn more about political prisoners, have the pamphlets and information from Jericho about political prisoners, the various political prisoners, and then to write letters, because that's clearly a very important piece. We're looking at some of the issues that are being talked about right now, even with this JetBlue $99 flight to Cuba. We know that there's another part to that, which has to do with our sisters Asada and Anda, and other folks, right? And that quest on the part of the imperialists does not end in terms of recapturing them. And so these are things that we're going to have to keep talking about, and we're going to have before. As we look at Puerto Rico and what's happening with Puerto Rico in the reassertion of the colonial status of Puerto Rico, you can't help but think about Puerto Rican political prisoners like Oscar Rivera. And obviously, as we head into this last year, the last segment of President Barack Obama's the presidency, the question comes up at the end of all these presidencies: who are people going to pardon, right? Who is the president going to let go? And looking at this discussion of pardoning people as opposed to turkeys come November, and really pressing that issue, at least in the minds of the people, right? Not to say that he's going to do anything, but at least in the minds of the people, using this opportunity to let our people remember that we have folks and we've got to come to some conclusion about what we are doing on behalf of our people who are on behind enemy lines. And so I'm hoping that we keep that at the forefront. There's so much that's happening, but for every event or every occasion that occurs in Black August that we're celebrating, that we make sure that we take at least 5 minutes, if not longer, than deserving more time, to talk about our political prisoners, to get people to do letters and cards, and to remind people that they need our support.
Well, we definitely keep in mind we have a program set up on the 21st, specifically the destination of political prisoners during that time period. So, Missouri,
I don't know if it was addressed or discussed, but it's kind of discussing how does Black August translate to other communities. How does it relate?
Translate to other communities?
Yeah, how does that translate and engage other communities outside of, because Black assumes it's African people. So how does it translate over to other communities that may have similar struggles? And how can we more engage other communities? Because we know that we can't really win this battle isolated just African people. That we have to unite with other communities to really build a strong movement. As you can see, the impact of even the Freedom Leah campaigns were huge. Campaigns, and even the movement engages folks from all the communities. And so, us locally, how do we engage? I think to look forward, to get more people involved in the movement, to get more people in the room. How do we engage other communities and get them as a part of this Black August Coalition so that it becomes a big movement, it becomes a bigger movement even locally? Just kind of question you.
Well, actually, I was getting ready to segue into that. When I was going to go back to Conrad George, during his time, he was encouraging other prisoners of other cultural groups to be a part of the struggle, because he saw that this was a class struggle, and that we were all of us that are oppressed are affected by the same, and maybe in different ways, but all of us are affected by this enemy. And so when we go back to the original San Quentin 6, it wasn't all Africans that were involved in that struggle, because they understood that they were affected by it as well. Unfortunately, we have, there exist some prisoners who, for whatever reason, that have been oppressed, and even some of these white prisoners that don't understand that they've been used as tools. You know, they align themselves with the oppressor. I was listening to this white dude, this redneck, this country. No. These were his words. He said he was a redneck, and he said, you know, we've been fighting the police forever. You know, we don't like the police. When did it become okay for us to like what the police are doing to someone else? You know, so he defined himself as a backwoods redneck, and all that. You know, so you have those in prison, and that used to confuse me, particularly with my Chicano brothers. Man, what are you doing over there? You know, we got the same fight. You know, but it's other things that's involved with that. You know, it's the politics, it's the drug trade and all that, where, you know, they got in the way. Some of them are waking up, a lot of them are waking up. You know, and understanding, I'm talking about within prison. In the community, we like with brothers from Brown Beret, brothers and sisters from UCLA Brown Berets, they understand clearly who their enemy is. And they understand that alliance, that solidarity, is something we need to build. You know, and hopefully that momentum continues to grow. You know, I was talking to my brother Nane from Santa Cruz last night. He called me down here for a meeting, and he works inside. He doesn't work. He works with brothers inside the prison, black and brown. So he said, "Yeah, man, I just talked to Danny Trejo, and I'm trying to get Danny Trejo and Danny Glover together, because he does. Not only does he do Cinco de Mayo, but he does Juneteenth. You know, so he's constantly working with the black and brown. Me and this brother met back in Kansas City in '93 and been connected at the hip ever since then, because we understand the importance of that alliance, that solidarity. Me and Beth talk almost every single day, you know, because he understands the need to strengthen that alliance. So that's one of the things we have to do. We have to begin to talk to those that are the same, you know, position that we're in as a people who have similar struggles, and say, man, look, you know, he's helping y'all up over here, doing the same thing to us. You know, so let's get together and deal with this. You know, so that's the kind of stuff that we have to do. We got to have these forums, not just within that community or with that issue. We got to have these forums in the Latino community, the Asian community, in the indigenous community. You know, I'm honored. I was asked to, Leonard Peltier was one of the first, when I first went into prison, actually when I went into hold, began to really study and read and learn certain things. You know, Leonard Peltier was one of the first people that I learned about. You know, so this is going back to 1976, shortly after he got locked up. You know, so I was asked, Beto asked me to walk into they have an event next month. So I had to step out there. You know, and I've done it in the past, it's nothing new for me. You know, had a situation happen back in 1991. Some of y'all may remember there was an incident happened in Jordan Downs housing project, where this family's house was firebombed, a Latino family's house was firebombed, 3 babies and 2 women lost their life in the firebombing. And a brother saw what happened, ran in and tried to help him, and he was shot. You know, fortunately survived with a gunshot wound. I'm inside the prison at the time. And I see this, I know the ramifications inside. So Latino brothers I knew I got with us, and we need to do something about this. You know, because we already know what the outcome's going to be. Fortunately, I was in a soft place, Chino, so it wasn't going to serious stuff, but still. So we began to talk to other prisoners. You know, and Chino, we have mainly counts from Southern California. So you got that rivalry thing going on between Africans and Latinos from Southern California. So we got on the yard, and within 2 weeks we raised about $2,000. You know, and then I got with some people I knew on the streets, found out what church was helping the family, the burial, and we organized a press conference. Brought the brother who was shot and the grandfather who shot him into the prison together. It's the first time they've seen each other since that incident happened. You know, and so we let them know, and the whole purpose of this, I mean, other than to help the families, was to send a message out to these youngsters on the streets. We united them here. You know, and the outcome was really positive. You know, you got people that used to walk in the yard being mugging one another. They kind of ain't kumbaya, but they, so they nodded at each other. At the time, I was running this organization inside called Black Oak Development Organization. And there was another organization, counter organization that was dormant that they wanted to revive. So we let them use our office space and work with them. So there's one brother, I think it was Gilbert Steele. We was standing there talking one day. Gil was about as big as I am. And he was trying to make me remember somebody. He said, man, you know so-and-so? I don't remember. He said, you know, that Mayate? And he said, oh, Spencer Holmes, because, you know, Mayate is a negative term referring to blacks. But he had got, so he thought he was disrespecting me. But what I saw it as was that he had got so comfortable in his relationship with me that he could talk to me like he talked to his homeboys. You know, but he understood that was disrespect. So the relationship had developed to that point. Unfortunately, I left there, you know, and that same type of camaraderie didn't continue to grow. But that's the type of things we need to do in prison and on the streets. So, in answer to your question, it's just, you know, us interacting with one another more, learning more about each other's struggles. I mean, when I was raised in prison by 3 people: Comrade George, Malcolm X, and Che Guevara. Those are the 3 that I stand on in terms of my political education and my development. Yeah, so it's always been. You just got to nurture. Sister.
You know, I really appreciate that, especially what you just said in terms of having that kind of perspective of different cultures and different kinds of people and relying. And, you know, when we talk about Asada and the Weather Underground breaking her out, the majority white organization, and then her going to Cuba, you know, African, Latino country, housing her for all of these decades, you know, it really shows how important it is for us to have international solidarity when it comes to uprising. And I wanted to ask you, in terms of uprising, we've been seeing a lot of uprisings with people who are incarcerated within the last 4 or 5 years, you know, with the Secure Housing Unit, especially in 2012. Throughout California, I think it was 30,000 people who were involved in that hunger strike. You know, it was huge. And so what I'm wondering is, what are other ways? I mean, I don't want to reveal information about people organizing inside or anything that's sensitive information, but things that you feel comfortable sharing about how we can organize with people who are incarcerated, provide that support externally, and if we're incarcerated ourselves, what are things that we can do to kind of maintain or just link with other people and maintain our own political education and link with other folks, because there's so much repression. And it seems like if you're coming in and they know that you're coming in because you're a comrade and because you're a political activist, as are a lot of people who are getting arrested in shutdowns, then, you know, how can we combat that? How can we fight against that and still be active while being incarcerated and help people on the outside when uprisings happen?
Just quickly a correction. The Weather Underground did not bring Sada out. There were elements of they were formerly of the Weather Underground, the Black Liberation Army.
BLA, yeah.
Black Liberation Army operation. They collaborated with these white anti-imperialists who used to be with the Weather Underground. But
So
the
it used to
media,
be.
the media, they
Yeah.
portrayed it as a
Weather underground had nothing to do with that.
because the BLA was for at least 2 decades you couldn't say Black Liberation Army, and they wouldn't say it. And the FBI had said that about some other organizations. So they said black out in the name. We used to call Sadiki one of the unmentionables. You can't mention her name, otherwise you get in trouble, like you can't mention Conrad George's name in California prison system where you wind up in the shoe.
So, okay. So it was a combination of different, mostly the BLA, formerly people of
It
the
was the
Weather.
BLA with help from these by that time. They were not into an organization.
Right.
The Weather Underground had dissolved them.
Okay.
Kind of like with the
Thank
Brinks
you.
robbery,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah, Weather Underground blew up stations, broadcasting stations and stuff. They wasn't shit. You want to tell the truth? I mean, I didn't
No,
mean
thank
to
you.
fall
I'd rather know the truth.
They had
than-
whatever because they was white, whatever trying to do with, as far as the struggle is concerned. But as far as the Sadiki Shakur, they put that sister in a prison, a male prison. Locked her up in the men's institution. She was the only woman in the whole institution. A Sadiki Shakur. Okay? And Weather Underground, they used to blow up these. They did stuff for the struggle. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to give them what they got coming.
Yeah.
But they blew up different broadcasts. What is that shit they blew up? The
Banks police stations, the Cap
Well,
State,
you know,
Pentagon.
they didn't have, well, I don't know what I'm talking about, but they didn't have no real serious planning, because that was some serious stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, no, they didn't have that much to do with that. Now, they were part of the struggle, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, they were part of the struggle, but they, on that level, they didn't have that.
I want to say, I know what they were doing in terms of destroying buildings. The day after,
That's what they did. That's the
the
brother.
day after Comrade George Jackson was assassinated,
Yeah.
they pulled coordinated action across this country against different state correctional laws in Sacramento. So I know what they were doing.
Yeah, I know what they were doing too, but I'm saying, though, as far as the South Shakur,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even know why I'm here to see saying this, but I know for a fact.
Yeah, I
The
know.
Weather Underground didn't do shit to free Assad Shakur.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm saying, they did stuff, don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying the importance of the revolutionary struggle.
Okay.
Right.
But this sister was trapped
Yeah.
in a penitentiary, a concentration camp. And the comrades came there and liberated her.
Right.
Oh, and she's still liberated today. This woman, they accused and lied on. Okay? And they framed and whatever. Okay? Anyway, those brothers stood tall. And she go.
And so is she.
And as President Obama, the president, I'm going to put her as the first on the most wanted.
They just said Osama bin Laden.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
But anyway, excuse me, brother. I'm sorry. This.
As James was saying, women with this man, but there were, and you have this white comrade, Linda Evans, who was locked up as a result of her involvement with the Brinks movement.
Yeah.
And because they did expropriation to get resources to liberate. So that took place. And there was
She's a
some
good sister. Yeah.
Maryland
Yeah.
Buck, yeah, Maryland Buck as well.
Yeah.
These both Europeans that were involved in that process.
Oh yeah.
But to answer your question, because of the repression that these brothers have been under, you have several brothers that's up here that I mentioned earlier that have been in solitary confinement since 1978 up until just recently. In fact, I got a letter from one of them a few weeks ago that I was intending to read portions of the left in the card. So, but his spirits are still strong.
Right.
He's with the exception of 2 years. This is Dadisi. This brother this one right here, this one right here, this right here. I can still open this briefcase, and you see the but his spirits are still strong. He finally got out of the chute. They had, as Tiffany was talking about earlier, the hunger strikes that took place that led to the hunger strike and families that got involved, that led to a lot of these brothers, led to the administration changing some of the policies, and a lot of them coming out of the institutions. They haven't come home yet, so it's still a long way for them. He's been down since '77, went to shoot in '78, and was released in 2014 from the shoot. He went to the board, they gave him 5 years denial, so it's like they have these brothers start all over again. Like they just came to prison, now you got a program. You got to get into this program before you can even become eligible. Now these people don't have life without. They have the possibility of parole, but they can jump through a whole lot of other hoops. The other thing is that prior to that, the only way they could get out of the shoot program was what they called a brief. They had to snitch on somebody in order for them to get out. And even though they're out, they still have some clauses that would cause them to end up back inside the shoot program, and particularly if some of their activities involve organizing or something like that. There's a few of them that don't care. They're real vocal. In fact, one of them just sent a text out for August 1st. But they're real vocal about their commitment to the struggle, and they don't care what the administration do. But a lot of them, they haven't given up. They just trying to get to a position where they can parole. So we've been doing, Black Hawk Los Angeles has been doing letter writing campaign for a number of years. And the one thing that we were doing is just having people to submit letters. We used to do a postcard where you let them know that you're concerned, but without saying anything that could justify them locking back up or keep them from getting out of the shoot program. You're saying something as simple as power to the people, whatever. But just get locked up. There are brothers that got locked up because they bought a book through the administration on Black history. And then they say, oh, you're part of this collective, so you go into the whole, you get an indeterminate shoot program. So the only way that, it has to be something that's really innocuous in terms of organizing that can't be perceived as a threat or as something that's related to movement. So it's just, really how you're doing. I wanted to share a little part of Dadisa's letter. And keep in mind, this is somebody that was in the shoot for over 30 years. And, his humanity just still shines through.
It's the way it is now,
Yeah. Brother Jitu. So how's the brother? With ongoing state of paternal love, respect, and concerns, I trust that all is well with you and all those worthy of our mutual concern. It's been a while since we last shared a line or two, but know that you constantly remain within my prayers and thoughts for well-being, and for the record, yes. And that was something else. Well, Jitu, since we last shared an exchange, one has been quite preoccupied with one's daily living, with not much leisure time to go around. Life in postal prison keeps one almost constantly with something to do. From working to participate in some type of self-help program, one keeps one's energy on what lies ahead, possible freedom from these walls of concrete and steel. I wanted to get to a section where he I should have outlined it.
Sorry,
Nice anyway.
Okay, so what have you been up to as of late? Last I heard, your health is not at its best. I know that as long as your spirits are high, you will continue to give to this life, something we can all be proud of. The challenges of life are not all bad, but a test of our character, which I've always known you to be more than equal to. So may your community activity continue to be that light of rejuvenation, legacy in life. So even after 30 years in SHU, I mean, he constantly talks about in the University Exchange about coming home, being involved with the struggle, continuing the commitment. And he's just one of many of them that have endured, and one thing I want to talk about, when we talk about the SHU, it's a totally different environment than when I was here. When I was there, I could see somebody when they walk by, I could talk to them, we got a chance. All these pictures are in solitary confinement, but we got a chance to go to the yard together. They had total sensory deprivation, but these was total. They had no contact, other human contact, except for the guards. When they went to the yard, it was a little yard that they go into as by themselves. So a friend of mine, her husband, when she went to see me, he was about maybe Tiffany and his brother's color. And when she went to see him, she said he sounded like himself, but he didn't look like himself. She didn't know what she was looking at because of the lack of sunlight.
Yeah.
It almost bleached him. He almost looked white to him. So that's the kind of torturous conditions that they had to survive under, and a lot of them still have to survive under. Her husband, he went to the SHU in '79, and he just got out about 3 months ago. So those kinds of conditions that they put them through, not including the beatings, all the stuff that these brothers have to go through, and they still come out with their minds intact. They tried everything they can to break their spirits. So we talk about reaching back in, in a real way, how you doing, how's your day? That's revolutionary, just that communication. I may talk about something, but in terms of organizing, we got to first organize them brothers to be able to just deal with everyday life right now. And from being there, I know communication is really important. To hear the loved ones, hear loved ones sharing something. My baby started walking today. Just something simple. That's revolutionary. So that was my advice. Is before we get into, the pigs did this, and we went and we did a demonstration, and we held down City Hall for a month. How you doing? So that's what I'm giving them. The movement's gonna be here for a while. But let's help them brothers get out. Get to the point they can get out of this. Okay.